Right then, all right. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a go at growing white sage. Okay. So I've looked on YouTube and on the internet, and it only seems to be in America, California, where they're growing it. But I want to know how you grow it in this country. So I think by using this technique, I can rush it on and germinate it quicker, because apparently it takes a few weeks to germinate it. So all you're going to need is a yogurt pot, a little bit of cling film, your white sage seed, okay, Latin name Salvia apiana. Now if you think to yourself, oh my god, how am I going to remember Latin? Salvia apiana. Just think of Sylvia is at the piano. It's a word association, man. It's as easy as that. Sylvia at piano. Sylvia is at the piano. Piece of cake, yeah? You've got to get the right seed, though. White sage, yeah? Sylvia's at the piano. You know the score. So anyway, all you need is your yogurt pot, your cling film, and a radiator. And we're going to have a go at germinating white sage. Because like I said, I can't find anybody who's doing it in the UK. And I've got a mate of mine who's got a shop, and she does all that kind of thing, Reiki and the smudge sticks and cleansing and all that kind of thing. She asked me to have a crack at it, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to have a go at doing that. No problem, mate. I'll sort that out. But like I said, so we're going to have a go growing white sage. You're not even going to leave the kitchen. Everything happens in the kitchen. Radiator, white sage, Sylvia's at the piano, a yogurt pot, and your cling film, and that's it. Okay, so we'll have a crack at that and see how we go. All right, cheers. Okay, this is a video on how to germinate white sage. So what I've done is, just pick it up, got a little yogurt pot, so I've washed it out obviously, and then what I've done is got a bit of kitchen towel, the kitchen paper, wet a little bit, wrang it out, put it in the bottom, and then sprinkled my seeds on top, and then put a bit of cling film on top of that sort of thing to make a bit of a propagator. So I think, because sage normally takes about 3 weeks to germinate, I think I can get these to germinate a lot quicker by doing this technique. And then as soon as they start to sprout, I'll move them into the greenhouse where it's a bit warmer, and grow them on from there. All right then, so germinating white sage. Day 2, I've put them on top of the radiator. Radiator's about 16 to 18 degrees with a towel. And now the seeds are starting to swell. Day 2. So I'm trying to get the seed in on the old phone. I've zoomed it right in. So this is day 3. Now the seed is really swelled. But can you see there, look, just on the left hand side, you've got an embryotic root coming through, look. Can you see? That's day 3, man. So they're swelled nicely. I have to move it really slow. It's difficult to do this. But you can just see the white flecks on the seed where they're starting to come through and germinate. You can just see them starting to split. I have to do this really slowly and try and get it in. Can you see there? Look, little white fleck. Little white fleck. So anyway, day 3. So day 4, I've had to take them out of this little pot and put them into that. So what I've done is, it's one of them containers you get from the supermarkets, what you get grapes in and whatnot. So what I've done, I filled it so much with compost, and then I've had to flick the seeds out of that. So what I've done is, I've even tried spraying them out of it, holding the this is one-handed with a phone sort of thing, holding it over and spraying it with a gun to get them off. And it's a nightmare, because what happens is the embryotic root starts stitching itself into the tissue paper. So it is a nightmare. And I reckon for Well, I've done it myself before with lemon seed and orange seed and anything big like that. You know, your roots don't knit in. Do you remember white sage being really fine? It knits in and it's a nightmare to get it off. But anyway, like I'm saying, what I've done, I've managed to flick as much as I can off into this little pot with compost, and then I've put a bit of kitchen, cling film, sorry, over the top. And we're going to have a go at germinating it like that. Like I said, it's germinating nice, but because I've flicked so much off, I know for a fact I've damaged some of the root on the seeds. It really germinates well, but it's a nightmare to get it off. So what I've done in that is put that to one side. That's the one with the old where I've germinated it in the yogurt pot and then flicked it out. So what I've done now is I've sown the seed. Same thing again. This time, all I'm doing is I've filled it with compost and I'm sowing the seed directly onto the top. So what you do is you fill it with compost, so far, not right to the top, and then wet it and then put your seed on and then your cling film on. So we're going to try it two different ways. It will take me quite a while, but you know, with you guys watching it, obviously it's in fast forward sort of thing, so it won't take that long. So there you go. There's some I've sown directly onto the compost, and some what I germinated in the old little yogurt pot, and then try my best to flick them into there. So we'll give it a go. They're going back on the radiator, and we'll give it a go and see how we're doing. All right then, white sage. Cheers. Day 5 on the white sage. So this is that pot where I've flicked the seed out of the little yogurt pot. And to be honest with you, I think I've damaged far too much of that, you know, the seed where the root started knitting into the tissue. So we're going to sack that one, and the one I sown directly onto the, you know, the surface of the compost. Look at that. Look at the germination rate. That was yesterday. They are cracking. But you can imagine, can't you? Let me try and get that in. When that knits into the tissue, as soon as you try and flick them off, it just damages them. So I'm sacking that one, and we're going to be growing this one on. So this is going to be day 2. I know it's getting a bit confusing. Like I say, the yogurt pot one we're going to sack. This method we're going to go with, sort of thing. I'm liking the look of that. So, day 5, but day 2 on this one, okay? Cheers. Okay, so this is day 3 on those ones we sown directly onto the surface. As you can see, they're germinating fantastic now. You've actually got the embryonic shoot coming up, look. You can just see those cotyledon leaves, those seed leaves coming through. So, day 3... and like I said, the germination rate is fantastic. I'm really impressed with that. Look at them, they're swelling lovely and splitting. So now they're starting to put the old cotyledon leaves on, those seed leaves. I'm going to leave the cellophane off and fashion something else I can go over the top. So, day 3 on the white sage, okay? Okay, so what I've decided to do is get one of those little containers what we're growing in, yeah, bamboo skewers, 4 of them, and then put the container over the top. So don't forget, you're going to have to give them a little bit of water from time to time, but when you do, you want to use one of these things, and then you don't saturate them, because you don't want to be saturating white sage. It just wants to be nice and moist. So there you go, we're still on day 3, but we've took the cellophane off. 4 bamboo skewers, the container we're growing in, back on top, and then back on the radiator. But don't forget, don't let it dry out. Just make sure it stays nice and moist, okay? Okay, so still on day 3. Day 4. Got some nice little seedlings going on there now, look. On the old white sage. I love that little technique. So if you don't want to wait a fortnight and you're impatient like me, look at them beauties.
You can get to this stage in 4 days using your radiator and one of those little containers. Yeah. So that's germinating white sage on the radiator. So the next video I'm going to do is pricking these out and putting them into a little container, growing them on from there, and then eventually we'll plant them out. Anyway, there you go, day 4.